quality talk. Who are you? You don't know. Don't tell me Negro. That's nothing. What were you before the white man named you a Negro? And where were you? And what did you have? What was yours? What language did you speak then? What was your name? It couldn't have been Smith or Jones or Bunch or Powell. That wasn't your name. They don't have those kind of names where you and I came from. No, what was your name? And why don't you now know what your name was then? Where did it go? Where did you lose it? Who took it? And how did he take it? What tongue did you speak? How did the man take your tongue? Where is your history? How did the man wipe out your history? How did the man, what did the man do to make you as dumb as you are right now?
Sir, Negro is a word that was made up for us, not by we ourselves, but by our slave master during slavery time.
And so now we have got to be about the formation of a nation in terms of our thought process. And this is why the Moors become so very important to us, because if you do not understand the Moors, it's very difficult for us as a people to understand why we're in the position that we're in today. You cannot understand why we're in the position we're in today if you don't understand what happened in 1492. You cannot understand what happened in 1492 if you don't understand the Crusades. You cannot understand the Crusades if you don't understand the Moors. Because the very nature of the knowledge that the Crusaders, the Christian Europeans, got of the riches of the East, why Columbus was on the seas in the first place hundreds of years later, was because of what the Moors had brought into Spain. And
now, people of India, you have people in India who are darker than people in Africa. Yes. They're not called Negroes. You just can't, when you trace it down or try and use...
Well, what would you call yourself?
As long as our people are classified as Negro, colored, black, they have no judicial standi, no standing in law, because they're not in their proper person.
What should our people?
Go ahead.
What should our people identify themselves as? What should they call themselves?
Moors.
Okay.
That's who we are.
So if
the word Moor is a medieval term that became Negro after the enslavement of the Moors. Before they were called the Moors, they were called Ethiopians, which means dark-faced. Ethiopia was the land of the burnt face. Ethiopians were the people from the land of the burnt face. Moor does not mean Muslim. My study of Moor tells me that there were Moors who were Christians. There were Moors who were Kemites or followed the Kemetic legacy. It is important that, yes, a very important facet of the Moors that went into Europe post 710 AD happened to practice the Islamic faith. But not all Moors are Muslims. You could be a Moor and not have any faith system that you followed particularly at all. And once we get to that, then we can understand that it was we the Moors, the Africans. And this is why our good brother, the Honorable Noble Drew Ali, becomes such a central focal point in our history. Because it was he, according to history, that had a very strong impact on another brother that brought forward another revolution, and his name was the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Because the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was a student of the Honorable Noble Drew Ali.
Elijah Muhammad came to New York after I had accepted Islam. Brother Malcolm was alive at that time and his New York minister. The first, it was October 1956. I'm sorry, 55. Elijah Muhammad spoke on two men who were the forerunners to him. Noble Drew Ali was number one. and Marcus Garvey was number 2. He said to us, that was the first big speech outside of a temple that I heard Elijah Muhammad speak. And on that day, he lifted Noble Drew Ali, that we should honor him, respect him, and study what he did. As a forerunner, we had many who were followers of Noble Drew Ali under the name Bey and Krim and other Islamic names that came to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And we never clashed. We never clashed with our brothers from the Moorish Science Temple.
Not only that, but Noble Drew Ali was a very influential person during the Harlem Renaissance. Because if you look at a picture, if you see a picture of Marcus Garvey sitting in a car, and he's dressed up in his regalia. Sometimes they have a very tight shot on Marcus Garvey. But sometimes they open up that shot, and there's a man sitting to his right. That man sitting to Marcus Garvey's right in that picture is the Honorable Noble Drew Ali. You've seen it. If you get that bigger picture in the car, sitting next to Marcus Mosiah Garvey is the Honorable Noble Drew Ali. Honorable Noble Drew Ali had a very important role back in those days in terms of the formulation of African people becoming a nation within themselves. And out of this Moorish science tradition, the Honorable Noble Drew Ali was teaching a lot of science. He was teaching a lot of mathematics. And this is, sorry. This is why this book that this brother shared with me is so important. See, we need a think tank just on this book alone. It's a biography of Noble Drew Ali. I am so happy and so relieved, I should say content, that somebody took the time. The brother's name is Elihu, I just want to make sure, Elihu Pleasant Bey. And I appreciate this brother taking time, the exhuming of a nation, where it talks about the Noble Drew Ali, because he was a fundamental piece to our existence in the beginning of the 20th century. It's something that we have to start looking at as a people, and we have to start answering very important questions about what we should be teaching our children and how we should be teaching our children, because we're not teaching them properly. Our intentions, we have the best intentions, but if the methodology is not there, the Moors used to teach. See, the Moors were the libraries, were the collected libraries of all ancient wisdom up until that point. And the Moors of their time took this information and took it to a higher level. To think that Africans brought into Europe sidewalks, streets lit by lamps for miles that you could walk. To think that the Moors were able to control the flow of water so that water could flow into your home where you could get both hot and cold water. That they could build according to the wind systems so that you had air conditioning in the warmer weather and heat in the cooler weather. This is what the Moors brought in. The Moors brought in strawberries and lemons. They brought in different ways of eating. They brought in the idea of eating in courses. They started the first musical conservatory in Europe. The first musical school was created by Moors. Almost every major university was created with people sitting at the feet of African people. And some of them became so smart that they moved from Spain and France under Alphonse X and moved to England. And they started the universities that we today call Oxford and Cambridge. Some of these people from Oxford and Cambridge became so smart they came to these new colonies and they started a college that's called King's College in New York City. And now we are so proud to say that we are some of the first people to attend Columbia University, yet we don't know that we built Columbia University. This is a part of our history that's totally lost. And that is because, as Charles Seifert, who was an expert on Ethiopia, said, a people without knowledge of their culture is like a tree without its roots. People can sell you anything if you don't know who you are.
All of a sudden, y'all start talking about Moors. He don't know what the hell y'all talking about. Because they've been so successful with hiding this Moorish history. I done heard every term in the book. But the Moorish, this Moorish thing, and maybe that's why it's harder for me to grasp, personally. Because I didn't hear about it till later in life. I heard about metaphysics before I heard about Moorish history and study Moorish history. So why do you think it's been such an ongoing campaign to... Because I asked earlier about the, you know, there's always an interchangeable, the Moors and the blacks and the Moors and the blacks. Are we the same mofos? Why have they been so... Why has it been an ongoing campaign? Because we know about Egypt. We hear about all these kings and queens. We hear about a lot of things. But this Moorish aspect, it's kind of unknown to even the conscious, quote-unquote, conscious folks out there. So what's going on with that, yo?
I've asked the same questions many and plenty of times. And, you know, from me being able to extract a story from here and a story from there, sit back and analyze it, the best thing that I'm able to make sense of why it's the quote-unquote biggest threat is because it's the unifying factor. It's the glue that binds. And when I say that, what I'm saying is that it's what ties us to the land, you know, and that single-handedly is the big...
In this country, searching for a nationality. And once we find our nationality and serve that nationality, we'll do for ourselves what needs to be done. All ethnic groups in this country understand they got a nationality. Because you answer to such stupid words like Negro and color and black. You have no nationality. Negro is not a nationality. Some lazy Portuguese or Spaniard took an adjective and made a noun out of it. Colored is not a nationality. Black tells you how you look, but it don't tell you who you are. Right. The name of a people must relate them instantaneously to land, history, and culture. And anytime you call a people by their right name, anytime you call a people and name a people and fail to relate them back to land, history, and culture, you have called them out of their name. There's no black land or black hole. There's nothing wrong with the word black. Nothing wrong with it at all. Only it doesn't relate to a country. The name of every people in the world relate to country. And once you think instantaneously of land, you think of nationality. You belong to something big in the world.
Because most Negroes actually today who come out of college, graduate from college with a diploma and still don't realize that they're walking around here with their slave master's name. And if you don't think a name makes any difference, a man can come here from Africa and can be black as ink and go into Mississippi with the name Abdul Sharif and all of the barriers are let down. But an American so-called Negro can graduate from Harvard and speak with a Harvard accent, have a pocket full of money, and be well-dressed, and he can't go anywhere he wants right here in the city of...
Society has said that you all are crackheads, that you all are baby makers, that you all are criminals and felons, and gang banging and wilding, and whatever part of the country that we find our brothers and sisters in, there's a negative connotation. Again, you yourselves personally, what's inside of you that makes you walk away from stuff that your peers perhaps are into on a daily basis that you may know?
Well, all praise due to Allah. He gave my mother the foresight of, you know, what this country would give to me and try to instill within me. So she gave me much history from starting from birth. And so I was raised knowing that I came from a great culture and a great people. And I was raised loving, you know, my people and knowing that we was meant to do more than stay high and get by. So it wasn't like, I mean, it was never no doubt. It was never any doubt in my mind whether or not, you know, I came from a great race and whether, I mean, there was no comparison with the pale, you know. So, getting by is hard, you know, I'm not gonna lie to you, you know, going through the streets, every time, you know, because a cop will stop you. They stop if you black and you walking and, you know, you getting stopped. So they always stop us, you know, they'll question my friends, what's your name, what's your name, what's your name? My name is, you know, Anthony, my name is Bada, and I had to go, oh my God, what's your name? Tupac Amaru Shakur. And they go, hey, where's the ID? What are you doing here? Extra special harassment on for me, because they know I'm not getting high, you know. They know, and that's why I want my new African brothers and sisters to know that, because if you have that name, if you have that brain and that idea, they know that you positive. They know that they should fear you. They should be scared of you. So that's what it's all about. Basically, is breaking those chains. It's gonna be hard. I'm not gonna lie. It's gonna be hard, but it was hard for those before us. You know, and they did it. People made great sacrifices for us to get this far, but not for us to be weary and not for us to be scared. You know, talking about it's okay now, everything's fine. What are you talking about? It's over. You know, it's time for us to really get with it.